Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to the. We're laughing because of what you've just done. You've just done a Happy Gilmore reference just for KMI. It's not funny. We're just being beat 2-0. Man City away tonight, and it was a 2-0 defeat at the Etihad. And we've been battered but not bruised, I suppose. I mean, we put everything out on our socials. What do you think the score is going to be? A lot of people expecting a cricket score. Me, myself, I had 5-0 on. People were expecting 5, 6, 7. People even said 8. Even beyond that, to be
9-1, I've seen it.
I've seen some big score.
I've seen 9-1 at half-time in the comments of the watch-along. It was a bit ambitious considering it was only 1-0.
Yeah, well, it still had a Aguero to bring on. Did have a chance to save by Darlow. I suppose it comes down to that. It comes down to Man City obviously not having a fit and firing striker tonight in Sergio Aguero or Gabriel Jesus, playing that false 9, but also not really getting out of second gear and not having to either by any stretch of the imagination. Comfortable winners in the end. What really wound me up for Newcastle was the chance of just getting in and around Man City's box, getting into that final third and not having the quality. It's fallen to the likes of DeAndre Yedlin, championship player who's been and gone. Years have gone by. Yedlin's not good enough anymore. Get him out the door in January. He's in and around the box. Every delivery's poor. The other side, Matt Ritchie, not good enough. Games Matt Ritchie's good for bottom half teams. You don't play Matt Ritchie in the next few games. You don't play him against City, which we did tonight. You don't play him against Liverpool or Leicester. You play him against Sheffield United. You play him against Burnley. Tough opposition in that respects of physicality and that kind of level. Producing quality where they're championship thereabouts, mid-table. You don't play them against world-class players. Their first goal tonight, Richie's sitting off Sterling. Probably a good job because if he lunges in, he gives away a penalty. Yeah. It's so
time and time again.
So easy for Man City to call through Newcastle and get that goal. Richie sits off, lets him play the ball, and Sterling can do a few fucking kippy-ups if he wanted to. He's there just doing
first goal,
doing step overs. You've got Shaw next to him. You've got players on the line, knee pointing and being there. It's so poor, the defending for that goal. It's weak. It's woeful. And that was the standard of the game, though, really. I mean, we're 1-0 at half-time. There's a chance to get back into the game, make a good sub, bring on like a Carroll or a Gale or a Wilson earlier than he did when they can actually make an impact, get balls to them. But we've never done that. There was the odd time when we're in and around Man City's area and they looked vulnerable. They looked weak. They looked like you could get at them. They were a bit shaky. Yeah. I mean, this Man City team this season hasn't been that great. No. They beat Burnley 5-0. They drew with West Brom 1-1. They only beat Fulham by 2-0. We showed them too much respect. We should have got at them more. We should have caused them more problems. Like I said, they were vulnerable. I think we could have got some out of the game if we showed more, but typical Brucey doesn't care, forfeit the game beforehand. A lot of people are crying out that Wilson wasn't starting, threw in the towel before the even whistle was blown, before the players even went on the pitch. And that was the case for the game, really. That's how the scenario played out. A 2-0 defeat, and Bruce will probably go back to the down of the night and go, that was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, at least
2-0.
At least it wasn't 6. Anyways, job done, Steve. Well done.
Goal difference is all right, and we're still 12th in the league. Happy days.
Yeah. I think the game was always going to play out like that, though. I think we could have predicted the formation fucking weeks again. Like, it was obviously going to be 5 at the back. As I said, like, this isn't really... Like, this is probably the worst Man City team we've probably seen in the last 3-4 years. Like, the start of the game, I think they were 8th in the league. I don't know where that puts them now, but they did look really, really vulnerable getting forward, and we didn't really have any great option. Like, Joelinton doing what he could, but it wasn't a great performance from him. Murphy looked okay. Almiron was very poor. Very poor. Wingers in Ritchie and Yedlin, very, very poor. Like, if this was a game where we had our top players available, Wilson, Saint-Maximin, Fraser, Almiron fucking pulling his finger out of his bumhole. Like, we really could have got to them. Like, they did look very, very shaky. They had 2 known left backs on the bench, but not one in the starting lineup. Nathan Ake was playing at left back.
Knew he didn't need to.
Like Murphy didn't really challenge that much. I think he put an effort in, but fucking Yedlin, man. Like, you're going up against Nathan Ake at left back. He couldn't get a cross in. Like, well, the ones that he did went fucking miles over. Most of them hit the first man. It was just a disappointing performance, but it's what we've come to expect of Bruce. I knew it would play out like that way. The only surprise is the fucking scoreline that it was so low.
Yeah, exactly.
24% possession, I think it was.
Yeah, we'll just look there just to quickly see Man City are 5th in the table. Like you said, they were 8th. They've got a game in hand on Everton and Leicester, who are 2nd and 3rd, but they're on the same amount of games played as Liverpool with 40 matches played. Liverpool on 31 points, Man City on 26, so they're still 5 points behind Liverpool.
The last 2 seasons, it's been so close, like being neck and neck with them two. Like this season, like it's just not been the same. Like I can't put my finger on what it is. Maybe it's Aguero not being fit all season. No David Silva, no Leroy Sané. Still no Company, but he retired about 2 years ago. They still haven't really replaced him, despite spending nearly 100 million between Diaz and Ake.
Just looking at the second goal here for Man City, we mentioned Miggy being praised so bad for that goal there. Gives it away, slow on the ball, out-muscled, and then it's a tap in for City there. Once Fernandes tries to clear it, Fernandes the night looked knackered, didn't he? Blowing out his arse, still suffering from run fatigue. But the stats are 76% possession, the Man City, Newcastle, 24% possession.
We kick off game after game for having about 30. Like, it seems like every game is between 30 and 35. Like, it's so accurately between them percentage every single game. And I would expect it to be dominated tonight, but didn't really expect to have any more than 30, certainly. But 24, it's fucking poor. And when we did get into the final third, we could have caused a threat, but we just didn't really look like it. Like, there was any real clear-cut chances to get back into the game.
Every week, especially if you watch the live watch-alongs, I talk about pressing and intensity and getting in the opposition's faces and causing them problems and unsettling them. We did it once today, and the one time I've seen it this fucking season, and we've forced John Stones to give with throwing in the final third next to the corner flag. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that every game, especially against opposition in and around? Why aren't we doing it against West Brom and Fulham?
Brentford,
Brentford didn't even really do it against us, and that's normally their style of play. Why don't we do it? It's a fucking dream to play in Newcastle because you get given time and space on the ball.
Like, we're expected of City, we're expected of Liverpool, but the likes you've just mentioned, like West Brom, Fulham, Brentford, we're going in against them teams with 30% possession, not pressing, not really trying to break the final third. Like, what's going on? Like this is about the Man City game. I try not to think too much in the past while looking in the present and the future.
Yeah, don't want to look in the past anymore.
Yeah, no, it's fucking bad. But like this game, like, obviously isn't as bad as the last 3 games. It's still a defeat nonetheless, whether it's 1-0, 2-0, or fucking 9-0. We've lost the game. Like, it's not good enough, but we just never really looked like I feel like there was an opportunity there to get at least a point. At 1-0 at half time, it's not that bad. Like, we're just seeing a great save from Cardallo there from Aguero on the far post,
which would have made 3.
Yeah, like we could have gone if we'd just really put a foot in. If we really just tried to get one back, even if we're going at 1-1, we stretch them for 20 minutes or something, and then maybe score a late winner. It's all right because we showed a bit of fight, a bit of heart. That's all we really want.
Exactly. Yeah, I was craving a consolation.
If we lost 2-1, that's fine. That's really okay. I don't mind that because, like I said, we expected 5-7-0.
Yeah. And then the day, like you said, it's still a defeat. It's still in the title of the video is no desire, and there was no desire from Bruce today to get a result. No desire to get 3 points because he could have even pushed it at half time. He could have even been valiant at half time and went, Carroll, you're coming on now.
Yeah.
Wilson, fuck it, mate. 45 minutes, you can do it. You're coming on now.
Yeah.
We're 1 goal away from a point against City. We're 1 goal away from pushing to get a result, pushing to get a win. Even if we stay in the game until 70, 80 minutes, and then you're 1 goal away from a draw away from home against one of the best teams in the league. Like, there was just none of it today. And the lineup stunk of that, though. The lineup stunk of, there's no point in even trying, is there? We may as well just give up before we even got on the pitch.
That is the case with Steve Bruce. Like game after game, like even against the likes of Brentford, we'll go in like we've already lost. Like it's like fucking aggregate game. It's like we're already losing on away goals.
Like Burton against Man City. We'll be 9-0 in the first game, so let's just keep it tight for this one.
I know it's fucking bad crack, man. Like you can't do that in the Premier League. Like, you show too much respect to the teams like Man City. Like we say, like they haven't been great. Has Ferran Torres been a good signing? I thought he looked poor the day. You've got Nathan Ake. He hasn't really stood out and playing out of position the day. They really were there for the taking. Aguero, of course, out. Gabriel Jesus was out, playing without a striker. Kyle Walker. Like,
no Morris didn't even come on.
Yeah, Foden came on for the last 5 minutes. Like we said in the stream, if it wasn't for De Bruyne they'd be shit.
Yeah.
It's like they say, like some teams have like that individuals, like Man United with Bruno Fernandes. If it wasn't for that main player, they'd be shit. We could probably say the same about
Wilson,
Callum Wilson,
or Saint.
like,
no Saint Maximin, no Wilson, no chance of scoring.
If it wasn't for Kevin De Bruyne pulling the strings, like that wasn't a great team I've just seen. Like,
that's not a team where you think they've got one of the elite coaches, elite players, elite, being in the Champions League final in recent years.
We had a hard game against Bielsa.
Yeah, semi-finals. Exactly. Leeds looked better than Man City, didn't they? To be honest.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Much better. But regardless, 2-0, you'll look at it on paper and you'll think, well, it wasn't too bad. A lot of fans said they weren't going to watch tonight because they didn't want to see we get boxed on Boxing Day and knocked clean out. 7, 8, and 9 was suggested on the Magpie channel Twitter. It wasn't that. But like you said, it's still nothing. It's still 0 points. It's still Liverpool to come in a matter of a few days at home.
No, still not good enough. Need desire.
Fair enough. If we had came out of the night and created a couple of chances, Edison made a couple of good saves. We battled a bit more in the middle of the park. I was buzzing to see Matty Longstaff come back, but was Matty thrown in the deep end, being chucked in against Man City, because he would have been perfect for the likes of Leeds and Brentford, teams that play high-energy football, teams where you need an engine in the middle of the park. We didn't have that in Sean. He would have been ideal in those games. Wasn't given a chance. Chucked in against one of the best teams in Europe and expected to boss the midfield. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Linton up top, holding it up, but then doing okay, holding up and giving the ball away for the pass. It just wasn't pretty, was it, at all? It wasn't a good game.
No, it wasn't. It's disappointing, but it could have been worse. It's just disappointing that there was no desire there. But then we'll move on to Liverpool in a few days' time. Jesus.
Put 7 past Palace of the week.
That's scary.
It is like.
We put 2 past Palace.
So that's going to be 9-0 Liverpool. Get your bets on 9-0 Liverpool. Okay. It's these games though where you can laugh at it, because the thing is with these ones is where I come into these games and I'm not going to rant because I don't expect anything.
I'm not as frustrated as I've been the last 3 games.
When I'm going to rant is when we'll be knocked out of a championship team in the cup.
Yeah.
When I'm going to rant is when we're not beating newly promoted sides at home. I don't expect anything against Man City away. I expect 5 at the back. And then again, I still expect more.
Just a bit of a desire,
I still expect more fight and more, especially when you see how poor Man City were at the back. They could have been hard at it more. Liverpool, next, we did all right against them last year. We took an early lead against Gale and then kind of fumbled at the end. Always did well against them with Rafa. So we'll see. Liverpool have been a bit like City, hit and miss. Poor against Fulham, should have got beat, but then obviously demolished Palace. Coming into their own a bit more now. Salah coming off the bench and scoring, getting a bit more fit, a lot of them. So that's not going to be easy. But again, it's the likes of Brewster who's going to be negative before the game and just pretty much throwing the towel before the ball's been kicked, I think.
Yeah, probably. I've just said before that Maximin's still expected to be out for another 3 weeks or so.
He's having a nice time in France, man.
Might as well. Something to do on it.
Nice holiday break. Loads of Kronenberg.
No, it is French, isn't it? I was going to say that's not French, but
it is.
Let you off.
Yeah, it is French. Yes, it is indeed. Well, there we go. Then that'll do for the match reaction. Please stay tuned. We've got the player ratings coming up very, very soon. Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV while you're here. Thanks for joining me on Boxing Day. And like I say, stay tuned for the Liverpool stuff coming up in the next week or so. Enjoy yourselves. Ta-ra.